Gather around, children, it's story time. Why?
I don't even want to repeat this shit out loud. This story.
My great-grandmother passed away just a week ago. She was possessed by spirits. Whoa.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you. Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and all day. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny and welcome back to another spooky story time. Do not watch this one at night because even I got chills just watching the video, and just the stories are crazy. Let's get into it, and my opinions will be at the end.
I don't even know how I'm gonna read this next story because I don't even want to repeat this shit out loud. This story is coming from one of you guys. I'm gonna put the username up here. I did do a story of hers last week and you guys said you wanted to hear the other one. So I'm gonna do it for you. And just as a reminder, this is the first story that she shared with us. Again, thank you so much for letting me share this story with everybody, but just a heads up, the story is insane. Okay, so when I was with my oldest son's dad, my son was, I think, maybe 1 year old. My son's father had two brothers. The youngest was 3 years older than my son, and he had another brother the same age as me. At the time of when this happened, I was 19 or maybe 20. So this brother of his, the one that was the same age as me, had a girlfriend and they had a baby who was 1 year older than my son. Well, at the time, the baby girl was 5 months old. So when my brother-in-law and his wife had their baby, they got their own place and moved in. Keep this next part in mind. The apartment they moved into was one me and my husband at the time lived in with our son, and we moved out after a year, but while living in that apartment, we had so many issues. Once we moved out, we left each other and my life got better, but me and my son's father would still try and make the relationship work. Well, my brother-in-law, he moved into the apartment with his wife and his baby of 5 months. This is really sad, but after moving in 3 days later, it was the weekend and they went to a birthday party. They were in a terrible accident, which my brother-in-law and his 5-month-old baby girl ended up passing away. His girlfriend at the time survived. Okay, well, during this time, I went to stay with my son's father's parents to help them with the funeral arrangements and all that stuff. I remember going to the funeral home with my father-in-law because I was helping him translate. While he was looking at the coffins and such, I was waiting in the waiting area. Mind you, it was only me, my father-in-law, and the funeral guy. While I was waiting, I was looking at them fill out paperwork in the guy's office when I saw a shadow pass by me in the hallway that was on the other side from where they were. I also kept seeing things the whole time the funeral was going on and during my brother-in-law's burial. Since I was staying with them, I also saw shadows in their house. But this is the scary thing that happened. At one point during one of these nights, I was in the room ready for bed with my son and his dad. Lights were out and we were already in bed, and then at one point I look over to where the closet was, and right in the corner I saw a shadow like my brother-in-law's shape. I got scared and I started crying because I told my son's dad that it looked like his brother was there with us. After that, I started thinking to myself, man, my brother-in-law was so sweet, the best person I have ever met. This is so unfair. His baby girl, why? I had all these thoughts going on in my head, and then I told myself in one of the thoughts, oh my god, I would do anything to bring him back, even trade places with him. Take me instead. He deserves to be here. Mind you, this is all being said in my head. When I said that last part, my son's father turned and looked at me with this scary look in his face like if he was possessed by something. He said, well, why don't we make that happen? It's your fault he's gone. You're gonna keep your promise of doing what you just promised. And when he said this, I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Then he said, you're gonna keep that promise and bring him back. Oh my god, when he said that to me, I started crying and grabbed my son and ran outside. I just slept on the couch. But he came out after I ran out and he was back to normal, asking me what was wrong. I just told him I wanted to sleep on the couch and he just said it was fine and went back to his room. I still get scared thinking of that, you know? It's some scary things we go through. I still have weird things happen to me, but not as much as before. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I'm reading this and recording, I paused because I want to listen back and make sure that I'm telling the story right. Why the fuck did I pause to, listen to this, what I just said? And my light started flickering. My light started flickering, oh my god. Oh. good energy, good vibes here. Nothing crazy. I literally have chills right now, but also I feel like there's things out there get attracted to people at their most vulnerable. For example, like the top hat man. I've heard so many stories about the top hat man, right? There's the same thing that happens in every one of those stories, which is people are going through something. Like maybe this kid's parents are being divorced, or like something negative is happening, and it's almost like these entities are like attracted to that when you're at your most vulnerable. I hope something like that never happens to me. Did my hair move? I swear I felt like something kind of pull my hair. No. I'm good. I'm fine. I'm positive. I'm light. Only good things are allowed to be in here. Anyways, what do you guys think? What are your thoughts? Oh my god, I just said that in 2 different ways. I need to relax. Chill the fuck out. Chill out. Maybe because I started this off with like, I read this, it was fucked up, it was insane. We're good. Oh, I'm feeling so anxious right now. Okay, I'm gonna cut it. Let me know what you guys think.
What she was saying was very accurate about certain D words will basically attach themselves to you when you are going through certain things in life. So basically, you know how alcohol is connected to spirits. So a lot of the time you are taken over by the spirit. So whenever you feel like you have this urge that you cannot control, it's not necessarily you. It's the spirit that's inside of you that is craving the alcohol, which is alcohol in Arabic. So spirits, and I have a video that's coming out about spirit. It's called a spirit eating D word. But the one she was talking about, to me, in my opinion, sounds like a grief D word. And there's many of them. I don't know if you guys ever seen the show Evil, and that show is not necessarily like scary or anything, but they do talk about the different seals, the different sigils that you can use to do, not necessarily you, but it'll show you all the different sigils that people use to summon certain D words. And there's a nun in there, I forgot her name. Cute nun. I love her. She's one of my favorite characters. But she would go and, you know, whenever someone is possessed, she will see the D word around them or next to them, and she will cut it out and throw it on the floor and step on it, or even pour salt over it. But people around her could not see it. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It's just that you don't have the ability to see it. But it's still going to manifest in your life and do the things that it's supposed to do in your life based on what you're going through. So like the alcohol, which is a body eating spirit, and also, you know, grief and sadness and depression and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong, if you have any issue going on, you need to go see a doctor. But there's a lot of time there's a spiritual reason to why you have these things. So for example, alcohol is basically, it eats you from the inside out. By the time you are done, like I've dealt with patients where their stomach get out this big and they're like yellow like a highlighter because they got jaundice, you know, and they're just going through it. You can tell that this person is just not themselves, and all they want to do, even at their situation, all they want to do is have a drink. And it's because that thing is craving it, and it makes you want to crave, even though you know it's bad for you when you're in the hospital bed, but you still want to do it. I remember one time, a long time ago in my heydays, I was working with this patient that basically drank alcohol, not the alcohol, but rubbing alcohol that you write, hand sanitizer. Basically, somebody was sitting with the patient and they ended up drinking hand sanitizer because they were so in need of that alcohol, right? And they were in the hospital for that alcohol. And it's kind of crazy that this happens. And obviously, I'm not talking about like patient, I'm not sharing any patient information. There's all things that happen that I've experienced and I've seen. And, you know, it's just things that I think can relate to this video. So in my opinion, yes, alcohol is a body eating D word. And in my opinion, once you pick up that bottle, you notice how all liquor bottles basically have a letter, and also it's called spirit, ABC spirits, and alcohol is called spirits because there's always a spirit attached to it. Look up the word alcohol, look it up. I will make the video for y'all anyways. Let's get to the next story.
My house is built in 1904. It's a single-family home, wood-frame setting on a concrete block foundation. I've been living here for about 12 years. Of all the weird things that my siblings and me have seen and heard in this house, this one event is my favorite. This happened to my brother. About 10 years ago, my brother and his best friends had started a garage band playing mostly Spanish rock, alternative music, but in Spanish. His friends could only get together on Sunday afternoons, and they would practice into the early evening, and they would usually call it quits by 8 p.m. This was the time that I usually showed up and went to bed because I worked the graveyard shift. This happened in late fall, so the days were getting shorter. They had just finished a long session when the decision to head to someone else's house came about. My brother handed his car keys to his buddy so they could load the equipment. Everyone had filed out of the basement. The tricky part was that they needed to walk all the way up the back of the basement, up the back stairs, through the kitchen doorway, down the hall into the living room, and out onto the front porch. Everyone was outside, sitting in my brother's truck, waiting for him. My brother was walking up the back stairs when he remembered that he left his pancakes in a to-go container sitting on a speaker in the basement. He made the decision to go back. Now, the basement is not clean. With full sight lines, there had been partitions made, and the boiler and main heating unit are right smack in the middle. So after my brother walks back, he's able to retrieve his food container when out of the corner of his eye, he sees it. It's a shadowy figure right at his peripheral vision. The feeling of dread and uneasiness washed over my brother. We had been taught that if you were in the presence of a spirit or a ghost and you felt a bad vibe, say a quick prayer or cuss at it. My brother chose the latter. He basically told it, "Hey, F you, I don't have time for this shit." My brother started to walk to the back of the basement and briskly up the stairs, closing the doors and turning off lights as he was walking out. The last light switch is on the opposite side of the front door. Luckily, the door was open and the light from the street lamp was flooding the living room with its amber light. My brother said that he felt something at his back, but at no point did he turn around. As he closed the gap between himself and his friend-laden truck, he kind of smiled and thought things over in his head, mad at himself for spooking out when there was no reason. He climbed into the driver's side of the truck, putting on his seatbelt and getting ready to pull out of the parking spot, when one of his friends asked, "Hey, wait, what about your brother? Isn't he coming with us?" "What do you mean? He went to work early tonight. He's already gone. Do you see his car anywhere?" The next question they asked, "So then, who was walking behind you when you were leaving the house?"
This listener's story is from Aaliyah. My great-grandmother passed away just a week ago. She was possessed by spirits. Whoa. Okay. Whenever she would get possessed, she would start speaking in different languages. She was an old Pashtun woman who could only speak Pashto, but when possessed, she'd speak Arabic, Urdu, Farsi, and English. So we had some relatives visiting us to give their condolences and respect. When we were coming back, in between our houses, there was a gutter, and because of the water there, it had grown out trees and bushes. So long, they almost looked like a tiny forest. We would either run through that forest because it was quicker to get to our home. I decided to run through it so I could reach our house before my sister. My sister kept calling me from behind, telling me to stop so we could go together. She was already halfway there, so she ran as fast as she could to reach our house. Just when she came out of the trees, she saw that I was standing behind our car, a short girl with a bob cut. She thought I was playing hide and seek with her, so she told me, "It's not funny. I saw you come out." I didn't say anything and started running around the car, and she started chasing me. She ran a few laps around the car when all of a sudden, quote, I stopped. Who is this? Who the f is this? My sister said that when I turned around, it was not my face, but instead my dead great-grandmother's old wrinkly face smiling at her creepily. No. Then, quote, I started approaching my sister, so my sister got scared and wanted to run away, but felt like her legs wouldn't move, and as if they have a heavy weight on them, so she felt like she couldn't move. She did her best to get inside her house, and when she did, she saw me already in the house playing. And then she fainted.
Oh my!
And was sick for a few weeks. What was that? Oh my god.
Gather around, children, it's story time. Why is it could be like a random Thursday, it's a little too silent in the room, and then like someone will drop some lore. So this takes place in a different country. So I haven't seen these people in a really long time, but the last time I saw them was whenever I was little. It's a happy family, husband, wife. I think they have like 3 kids. The daughter now is a teenager. She's dating, you know, she's meeting guys, you know, where they're from. It's not like you can just do a background check. They don't have laptops. They don't do none of that. This is the rancho. Well, the daughter starts dating this guy. Everything is going well for the most part, but I'm pretty sure obviously whenever your kid is dating someone, at least over here, there's always going to be some sort of conflict at one point, whether it's they're staying out too late or, you know, just typical things that happen. Let me fix that shade. That was so bad. So again, they're dating. This guy is a little bit older than her. Let's say maybe like a year or 2. They could possibly be the same in age, but for some reason I'm thinking it's like a year or 2 difference. I don't remember if she's like 16 or 17. Maybe he's like 18 or 19, even 20. And unfortunately over there also like an age thing is not really different for them. It's like the guy's older, he can provide, cool, which is gross. Dating older can also have like an authority difference to where maybe you feel like you have to listen to him all the time or blah blah blah. So anyways, this daughter and boyfriend are in love with each other. Like they're literally in love with each other, head over heels, blah blah blah. He's always coming over, he's always around her family, he's just always around. I believe it comes to a point where the parents are kind of like, all right, like he's always around now, like let's give a little break. I don't know if it was specifically her mom or her dad's idea that was like, hey, like you can't see him so much, like it's too much now. She doesn't really understand why they have a good relationship. She's just like so annoyed by it, obviously. So boyfriend isn't coming around anymore. Obviously the girl's upset about it because I mean she's young, you know, their boyfriend is your life, blah blah blah. He's probably upset because he can't see her anymore. Now she's just really annoyed at the fact that her mom didn't really want him around anymore. And mind you, usually the mom is a stay-at-home like mom and takes care of the kids, like her siblings, and the dad is like out trying to work or do something. So she's obviously gonna be like more annoyed with her mom. I don't know how her and her boyfriend are still seeing each other. Maybe it's like they're going out or she's getting a ride somewhere. Again, this family doesn't come for money, so I don't know if it's like how that works. Maybe he's picking her up, but she's just not allowed to have him there. I guess the frustration is understandable. I don't know if the daughter's going to school or not, but basically one day she comes home and her boyfriend's like just not talking to her anymore. I don't know if he wasn't picking her up or if he wasn't calling her or how that was working. Like she was annoyed because she's probably thinking, oh my god, my parents got a hold of him and was like, don't talk to her anymore, which she thought was really weird. Obviously you're sad if all of a sudden your boyfriend's not talking to you anymore. Like, what did I do? What happened? I didn't do anything. So obviously it was like my dad and my mom, right? Well, and then her mom goes missing. I mean, this is a devoted mother to her children. She's been with her husband for years, again, since I was little, and I haven't been there since like when my parents were together, and that was like before I was 8 years old. So how are you with someone for over 10 plus years? You have littles with them, all of this, and then you just disappear, right? That doesn't make sense. I don't really know her and her husband's relationship very well, obviously, but he was obviously really worried. Like, people, there's not enough words to really just be like, he was worried. I mean, picture someone in your family just going missing. Police are called, but obviously resources and stuff over there are not as good as over here. So it's just not a super crazy top priority, obviously, because it's just not. But for the family, it's like, what the fuck? She just went missing. So not only did this girl just lose her boyfriend, but now she lost her mom, which is so devastating. I mean, your boyfriend's not answering, that's suspicious. You're not seeing him, can't get a hold of him, and your mom goes missing after the fact that basically she shunned him. And then right now you're stuck taking care of your siblings. That's obviously out of character, and you would want the police to take it serious. I don't know how much time goes by, but obviously the anticipation of not knowing whether your mom is okay or even alive is scary. Well, the cops tracked down the fucking boyfriend in a different town. I don't know if the cops tracked him or if someone that like knew what was going on, like saw him and knew that he was the girl's boyfriend. So obviously they're gonna be like, get the fuck over here, where is she? Anybody would think, putting two and two together, you're gone, you can't be like getting a hold of, and now your girlfriend's mom is gone after you're not allowed in the house. So the dude is like a deer in fucking headlights at this point. I mean, like, dude, you're caught, like you're a suspect. Because like, how dare you take a woman away from her husband, from her kids, from her life? He's like, no, like I didn't do that. We've watched enough true crime to know that they're not gonna just say yes. So finally, he's like, I'm gonna just take you to her. I don't know the location, but I know that he takes the cops or whatever and goes to where she is. Y'all, they find her. This bitch is pregnant with daughter's boyfriend's baby, which is why she didn't want him around the daughter anymore. He was over so much. He probably knew the fucking schedule of when husband was gone, daughter was at school, whatever the fuck. He was getting it in with mom. Wish I was kidding. I wish I was kidding. I want you to really sit back and think about this and feel this. Your mom's missing. They find out she's alive, but she left you and abandoned you and your family to go run off with your boyfriend. Or in the dad's perspective, your wife that was devoted for years leaves for your daughter's boyfriend and lets you think that she is dead, that she is missing, that she's never coming back because she's pregnant with another child. She literally just abandoned everything. Disgusting. Disgusting. I genuinely don't know. I haven't even asked if the husband took her back or if they just literally ran off or what happened, because obviously, like I said, I don't know the boyfriend's age. He could have been older, like in his 20s, enough to where he could have provided and that's why they left, or it could have been that he was really young and she groomed him if he was the daughter's age. Like I don't know. It reminds me of the Grotesquerie show when we found out that the mom was actually sleeping with her daughter's boyfriend or husband. Like at this point, do you even want her back in your life? Like, just stay missing? But then she has like kids and you're taking care of her kids. Like what even happens? I should ask for an update from my source, honestly, but I don't even know if T knows. So if you guys want to hear more of this while I get ready, let me know. I'll do more.
The first time a ghost visited me in my bed in Las Vegas. So story time. I am flying out to Vegas. I got one of the last flights out during Hurricane Sandy times when she was just about to hit. And I am so excited. It's going to be my first time in Vegas. I'm ready to go. And my friend that I'm meeting isn't going to be there for another 2 days because I had to change my flight. And I trusted my gut and I was like, all right, I'm going to get out of here early. This storm seems weird. So I get there and I'm staying at the Luxor, which at the time is having a Titanic museum exhibit. And I love all this kind of stuff. This is before I was super witchy and a psychic and doing all this stuff. I was barely awakened at the time, had no idea. I had a couple crystals, you know, I was trying some things, but nothing major yet. I was still working in corporate, still just trying to figure out what the heck to do with my life. So naturally, to kill time, because I don't want to go crazy on my own, waiting for my friend to come, I'd go to this exhibit. And it was a beautiful exhibit, but there were a lot of artifacts and items of people that, you know, didn't make it there. A lot of them. So really intimate items like pocket watches, spoons, compacts, you name it. Anything that you can envision metal or sturdier during that time was salvaged and on display, including a huge piece of the actual Titanic itself. I am a museum junkie, so I stayed in there probably a little bit longer than the traditional person to hang out, look at everything, read the history, read all the little cards, and just to immerse myself in it, to have an experience and to kill some time. So later that day, my friend lands and we settle in, we take it easy, we go out to eat. I don't really remember exactly what we did, but that night when we went to bed, I woke up in the middle of the night and I saw this figure of a man in my bed, fully formed figure of a man. And it felt like he had on some sort of uniform or something. And it freaked me out so much that I literally turned, saw him, like screamed, flipped on the light. And my friend was like, oh my God, what happened? And it was completely gone. And I don't scare easily. I didn't even really believe in ghosts at that time either. I wasn't doing what I'm doing now. But this person, it felt like and looked like there was a man in my bed. There was a whole man in my bed. And it was a little bit staticky too, but I could sense like the energy of the person, sense that they were wearing maybe some sort of uniform or something. But it scared me. And I don't spook easily with things. Yeah, so that's the time I met a ghost in Vegas. And looking back, and now reflecting on my life now as a psychic medium, as someone that connects very, very easily to people who have passed, I am not surprised that this happened. And oftentimes I wonder as a kid, how many people I saw just in my waking life that were actually probably ghosts. So there's that. And yeah, I was so freaked out, I named the ghost Frank to make myself feel better.
So I'm an ER doctor and I have a story that is 100% true and still gives me chills to this very day. And although I got permission to tell it, I haven't told many people until now. Many years ago, I was working in the ER and I got a patient who was a drowning victim, a 5-year-old girl who had fallen in the family swimming pool. When paramedics brought her in, they were doing CPR still. She had no pulse, no blood pressure, she wasn't breathing, and no signs of life. We brought her back to the ER room and we attempted to resuscitate her. I placed a breathing tube, and fortunately, after about 10 minutes, we got her pulse and blood pressure back. Family arrived and parents, of course, were extremely distraught. Dad particularly was really taking it hard. He was blaming himself. He was saying, I should have known better. It's all my fault. I should have known better. It's all my fault. I attempted to reassure him. I was like, sir, listen, this is not your fault. Accidents happen all the time. It was a complete accident. And he said, no, you don't understand. When I was a little kid, I went to stay with my grandparents, and they told me not to go down to the river that was right behind their house. I wandered down there anyways. I got in the river, I got in trouble, and I almost drowned. I started screaming for help. My grandpa ran out of the house, dove in the water, and he saved my life, but he lost his that day. And the dad said, first I killed my grandpa, now I almost killed my daughter. And I, again, tried to reassure him. I was like, sir, it's just an accident. It's not your fault. You know, everything will be okay. And the patient was admitted up to the pediatric ICU. A few days later, I'd gotten word that the little girl had woken up in the pediatric ICU and they had extubated her, taken out the breathing tube. So after my shift, I went up to visit with the family and the little girl. Obviously, the little girl wasn't talking too much because she's still recovering. So I'm talking to the mom and dad. They're extremely thankful. They're very grateful. And obviously, they're overwhelmingly ecstatic that she's going to survive this awful ordeal. So then I turn my attention to the little girl and I'm like, just sparking up natural conversation. Hey, do you remember me? And she's like, no. And I said, do you remember the nurses? Do you remember the paramedics? No. And out of nowhere, she goes, I remember Sam. And I said, who's Sam? She goes, I don't know. And I said, okay, well, what was Sam doing? Thinking, was he, doing chest compression, someone in the ER? I don't know. And she said, he was holding my hand. And I said, what did he look like? She said, he was wearing a hat and a funny jacket. And then I'm like, okay, I didn't know who she's talking about. Then the dad walks over and he's punching on his phone. And he pulls up a picture from Facebook and he points it at her and he goes, was that Sam? And she said, yeah, that's him. That's Sam. And dad turns to mom and he goes, oh my God, that's my grandpa. So his grandpa, who had died 25 years earlier, saving him from drowning, was there holding her hand as we were doing the resuscitation. Literal goosebumps to this very day.
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teach you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, it shows you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell, so if you're in a bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money. And I even have some easy, powerful spell to win Game of Chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to senders. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. as long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copying. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, you know, content every day for you guys. So enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, you know, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.